Lively Game of the Day. ChuggerChad versus the Ether. Jugger versus Lash.
Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Semi-original guy, aka Mr. Cannon from Advanced Wars by Web, bringing you another lively game of the day. Today we are on Devil May Crawl. This is a standard matchup, base light with mixed base. Pretty cool map, folks. No HQs on this map. We do have laboratories as our HQs, couple comm towers thrown in the mix here, and a little odd dynamic with the missile locking an airport. So you must destroy the missile before you can build some air units. Now, I have noticed something in the live league. I've noticed this new account pop up here, ChuggerChad. ChuggerChad. I believe it's an alt, probably of somebody that's pretty good. And he's facing the Ether today, so I think we're going to have a pretty interesting matchup here, folks. As we know, Jugger, you know, he's a tier 4 CO going up against Lash on this map. Lash, tons and tons of playability with the immense amounts of terrain on this map. So I think we're going to have a kind of an interesting one here, folks. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it and see what went down in the live league today. On the first few days, folks, you all know the deal. It is the standard infantry builds. You gotta get the infantry on the field, folks. It is the #1 priority in Advanced Wars by Web. #2 priority, Advanced Wars by Web. Like and subscribe, folks. #3 priority, however, is making sure you expand properly on these maps, folks. Especially when you have a limited bases in a base light matchup that's also mixed base. You have to be very, very careful where you expand to. You don't want to expand somewhere where you have too little protection, and you don't want to invest all your eggs into one basket as well. Now for this map, I think what may or may not happen, judging by the look of this map at least, is I believe we are probably going to see this base rush this area right here and grab all this stuff. This base probably going to rush down here and grab all this stuff. And then we're going to launch a little counterattack over here and here and here and here for sure. So the fighting areas are probably going to be like around here, maybe around here, maybe around here, maybe around here. I think. Maybe. More or less, I think that's probably what may or may not happen on this map. But we shall see how this one flows, grows, and shows, folks. Alrighty, so carrying on with the match here, let's see what happens. Continuing on the standard capture chains, you do have to destroy that missile though. That is definitely priority #4 in this little match for sure. Now once you destroy the missile, you are able to use air units, and air units are going to be mega super ultra effective for two reasons. One, you can grab the second comm tower in the corner of the map. And 2, battlecopters. They're super good, folks. You gotta get some battlecopters on the field. The Ether. I'm going for an artillery build. Very, very cool build indeed. Gotta get the arties on the field. This guy's gonna be able to maybe go here, put some pressure over here. Artillery could potentially get like on this tile and block like this entire area. So I think it's got some merit for sure. If artillery is going over here to attack the airport, I guess that's also okay because we are able to get directly onto the city, which would give Lash at least a huge firepower bonus. Now you could just build a mech and do it that way, but artillery is also very good. ChuggerChad, busting out the tank though, folks. Got to get the tanks on the field. Tank's gonna be super effective. Good old counter to that little artillery as well. However, Ether busting out a tank to block the artillery. Very standard right here, folks. Looks like we have a little interesting little attack here. ChuggerChad foregoing his own capture, attacking the infantry. I think that's a pretty good play, folks. I think that's a pretty good play. That essentially stops Ether's advancement to the north, which is critical in this game. Two tanks. 2 tanks on the field now. Alright, so retreating the infantry. Bringing another infantry forward. Going for the comm tower now. Now, the comm tower is unstoppable. Looks like Ether is going to grab that comm tower. Big ol' 70% damage to that missile. That is pretty huge. Now, Ether could potentially have bought a battlecopter that turn if he had the funds, which I think maybe he did. Might have had to base skip. I don't know. Let's take a gander here. 10,000 funds, yeah. So we don't have the funds to do that. Okay, so that's fine. But you could build a battlecopter. You would have to eat a little bit of repair costs, but you could get them out like a turn earlier, which would be pretty cool. I don't think it's needed in like the long run, but definitely a pretty cool thing. All right, 3 tanks on the field, and a ChuggerChad is now pushing the mid, folks. Pushing mid, securing his place in the world up north. I do not believe that Ether is going to be able to push north unless he gets some sort of massive amount of tank presence. But, like I was saying, I kind of see this going to this base right here anyways, and this going towards this base. So, I think Ether should probably push down and try to just secure grabbing these properties over here, especially with the tanks up north now. It'll be a little bit difficult to get your foot in the door over there now. Oh, did we leave an infantry hanging? Oh, we left an infantry hanging. Yeah, that is a free shot. However, that could get trapped. Not trapped long term, considering we have a tank right here, infantry right here. So, provided we at least bring the tank over here, we should be able to untrap it. However, good trap, folks. Or not good trap, good attack, I should say. It was a good attack. Take that infantry all the way down to 5. Once again, like I said, that completely cripples the capture game over here. Ether is definitely going to have to be going down south in order to get any properties. We are putting a lot of pressure on the comm tower now. And we sort of half-blocked the tank in. You know, we got a half-block over here. Got 2 tanks over here now. Do have the 120% threshold needed in order to hit these guys no matter what right now, too. With the comm tower, so that's pretty cool. I do like that. Jugger, not going for the lab at all. Going immediately for the properties, which is definitely important. Now, you could go for the lab and threaten an early, you know, game-ending HQ cap by getting that lab and then getting the second lab, but I think income is a little bit more important, especially in the early games. You know, you get that income early and you are pretty much in like a very nice spot, folks. Anti-air is putting a stop to this battlecopter as well. That battlecopter is not able to go anywhere, cannot get into the mid. Ooh, so it really just depends now where he decides to put this guy. I mean, he could go mid and just completely ward off the battlecopter, but we'll see. We shall see. Chugger going for another free hit on an infantry by the looks of it here. Yeah, that's another free hit. So we sniped out another free infantry and then brings the other 2 tanks down south. Busts out the classiest unit in Advanced Wars by Web. The classy medium tank is on the field. Oh my god. Things are getting awfully classy up in here, folks. Awfully classy on day 10 with 15,200 funds in the bank. What is the Ether, our Lash player, going to do in response to this? Takes a big old 150% firepower attack from the mountain, folks. Now, only does 5 damage due to the additional defense, but still a pretty hefty attack. Ether, once again, trying to shift up north in order to grab that comm tower, or at least grab a property or something. And we definitely need to get something in order to stay in the game right here, folks. All right, we got an attack on the missile. So that guy's going down to 4 already. Purely infantry strikes taking that guy down. Chugger is not going for any attacks this turn, busting out a second classy medium tank because he's got 20 properties, folks. 20 properties to 13 properties. This is one of the problems that I see with maps like this. If you have a lackluster opening phase, or your opponent does something that just completely stops your opener, then you just fall behind in properties like super quick. But I think Jugger played his opener very, very well. Indeed. However, Lash is still technically the strongest CO, and with 21,000 funds in the bank, buys a classy medium tank. That's what you gotta do, folks. You gotta get classy up in here if you're gonna be staying in the game. Now, I've got 2 death balls on the map right now. We have 1 potential attack right here from Jugger, which could definitely interrupt this. Could interrupt it with medium tank, but that's just asking for your medium tank to get hit with an artillery, so I would not suggest that. But planting them firmly on a city, though, that is a nice place to be. Alright, so this is the point in the game where potentially things could get equalized a little bit. So Ether has 2 infantry down south and a tank. So that tank is going to be able to take out this infantry. You know, we got tank infantry strike right here, and then we are free to start capping some properties. Provided we bring these guys down south and start fighting for this area. If we build a anti-air, we can hold this position and we can start capping these properties. If Jugger pulls these guys over here, that's going to weaken this position over here. Could allow for Ether to push in and take this property back. Now, especially once Prime Tactics happens, folks. Once Prime Tactics hit, like, everything is going to just get super crazy. Mind you, things are going to get awfully crazy once the co-powers hit as well. We have no idea how those co-powers are going to go. They could go literally... They can go to the moon or go straight to heck, folks. That's how Jugger works. Either goes to the moon or goes straight to heck. Alright, it's day 12. Jugger's got a co-power. We have 1 co-power ready. And we have a free shot on the artillery. Managed to break the line and pushed in. Takes out the battlecopter as well. Unfortunate loss for the Ether. Unfortunate loss for the Ether, indeed. Follows up with an additional 3 HP shot. And now the infantry are just doing the walk along the side of the map. Full tracking it, track and field style right now. Getting the full 400 meters around this place. Capping every property along the edge. And the Ether resigns on day 13, folks. Day 13. We have a resign. ChuggerChad. What a legendary Jugger player. The Jugger is a great Jugger indeed, folks. If you folks end up finding yourself in a match and there's a Noir Eclipse Commander, because he picks Noir Eclipse Commander, you gotta watch out because it might be ChuggerChad. Anyways, I thought this was a really cool game. Like, Jugger definitely had a very, very good grasp of how this map works, and I think he just basically just outplayed the Ether for this one. Ether is a very good player, though. Indeed, definitely like 1100, like close to 1200 rated, I believe. But sometimes that's just the way she goes, folks. And that's just the way she goes. Hopefully you all enjoyed this one. If you did, consider leaving a like, comment, or subscribe. I will see you all in the next one. Take care of yourselves and watch out for Jugger.